Hello, my name is Mubeezi Tenda. I am a feminist, a decolonial feminist, a communications person who is interested in writing and framing narratives around women's liberation, but also I'm interested in contributing to the women's liberation through the archiving of our stories, our work, our efforts, and our interests. I'm here at the African Women's Leadership Institute attending a fellowship for media practitioners that is meant to teach us how to reframe narratives around SRHR, or sexual and reproductive health and rights. And it has been a 5-day fellowship that has been an intense deep dive with other journalists, editors, professors of feminist theory on basically the subject of sexual and reproductive health and rights, and how to write about them or how to talk about them, especially in contexts that are restrictive. For me, the session has really been enlightening, especially as someone who is not necessarily a journalist and has not had a background in journalism. I have always wondered how to pitch a story to an editor, how to not get ignored by editors when I send them emails, how to know how to write for the papers and have a story that is taken up by the audience, but also a story that impacts change, that instead doesn't just cause a backlash around it, but instead creates a conversation that goes in the direction we want to go in, which is the direction of human dignity and dignifying the lives of those who are different or who are having different realities from ours. So right from the start, the training has touched on a module around personal development, which was an insightful conversation by Dr. Yaliwe Clark, who has taught for the longest time at the University of Cape Town, feminist theory. And she really took us into an examination of our own values, our own value systems, and the context that formulate our personalities and our belief systems. And by the time we came out, we were ready to examine the context in which we live in, which was done through an analysis of feminist theory. So during the feminist theory module, we were able to cover the different schools of feminist thought. We were able to have, debates and conversations among ourselves around our differing opinions, what we believe in as women, as girls, as people who have been historically marginalized. And this eventually enabled us to come to a consensus of what our common cause is, with an analysis of what our common and shared problems are, and also our shared hopes and dreams for ourselves as women and girls and those who have been historically marginalized. And then we had a really beautiful session with Lydia, another faculty member, Lydia Namubiru, who is the editor-in-chief of The Continent, a really popular newspaper that covers news around the continent, and it just comes in your WhatsApp. She taught us to think about stories differently when we are, writing about stories that are often have a lot of contestation around, or issues that have a lot of contestation around. She gave us tips on how to appeal to the audiences, how to align with editors' expectations. And she also opened our minds around media generally, because most of us keep on thinking, especially for us in the civil society organization space, we think about pitching stories to traditional media, and then we sort of ignore the opportunities of the community media platforms that are upcoming and developing. And she told us to respect those platforms and be patient in growing the audiences around them, and eventually make them the platforms from which we speak on our issues, because community media platforms are the future. We also had a session by Ngare and Onea, who took us through a practical session on understanding the value systems in our society and finding the common ground for those value systems, and how we can speak a language that we all understand, and also enable people, even who have been perhaps indoctrinated in other ways, to see to find the common humanity, and also open their eyes to the realities of others that are not themselves. So we had a really good practical session in writing a story, in pitching a story. And tomorrow I'm really excited about having the media roundtable around still narratives on SRHR. It has been generally a great fellowship, because I was in the room with people that are journalists in other countries, editors were also amongst us as students and faculty. I was with other civil society organization actors, other feminists, other communications persons, and so I feel that I'm going to live also with a community of people that I can, as a communications person, is going to be very helpful to me as I write and as I also learn to navigate the media. So basically what this training has done for me is, I think, demystify for me the media world, especially someone who does not really come from that field, and it has also helped me to know how to navigate it. So thank you so much.